Okay, so now I want to talk about the child's goals and how you can tell what the child's goals are. It's natural for humans to have four main goals in our interactions with other people, and the same goes for children: contact, power, protection, and the opposite of contact, which is withdrawal or time alone. And a child that's raised in a healthy home is going to do these things in a way that's healthy, but they need some redirection. But when they get discouraged, they will do these things in a negative way. And that's going to leave the parent very frustrated and not knowing what to do. So I am here to help you. At the end of this video, I will put a chart that has, well, I can put it in now. Here's the main chart. So we're going to go over these needs that children have one by one. The basic goal of contact and belonging, let's go over that first. It is normal for people to want to belong, to have physical and emotional contact with other people. And when children feel like their contributions matter, that they matter, and they're in a healthy space, you will feel close to your child. You will feel close, and children that don't get enough attention are going to start looking for attention in a negative way. And when that's going on, they'll do things like interrupt you. The way you'll be able to tell us how you feel. So when they're doing it in a positive way, you feel close. But if they're doing it in a negative way, you're going to feel annoyed. That's called undue attention seeking. You're going to feel annoyed. Okay, I'm going to read to you out of this book some examples of undue attention seeking. Remember, when the child is doing these things, the child isn't trying to hurt you or be nasty. This child is just looking for connection. It's looking for attention. It doesn't know, it needs help figuring out how to get in a positive way. So the negative way is to find a way to keep people busy with them. An undue attention-seeking child may act forgetful or helpless or lazy, putting the parent in his service with reminders and coaxing. Or the child may get attention by clowning, asking constant questions, pestering, or making a nuisance of himself. He can even say, "Look at this, mommy," over and over again. Adults typically will feel annoyed or irritated. Now, parents inadvertently pay off this kind of bad behavior. They're actually encouraging it by reminding, nagging, coaxing, complaining, giving mini lectures, scolding, and staying in contact with the child. This attention is the payoff that reinforces the child's mistaken approach to achieving contact. After all, to such children, even negative attention is better than no attention at all. So you have to break the pattern, and you have to not pay off. There'll be more about consequences later, but I think the consequences are in a later chapter. But the other thing too is that we have to give our children attention. They need attention, positive attention when they're not acting up, through family meetings, through playing games with them, talking with them, watching them play, giving them, letting them participate in family activities, chores together, making them feel important and valuable, asking their opinions, including them as a member of the family. Because when children get positive attention, they do not act out. When you see a child act out, that is a child that is just starving for attention. And sometimes parents are just too busy to give their kids attention, but then you end up with these misbehaviors. So when the child is seeking attention in a positive way, you want to recognize the child's contribution. for example, if you're talking on the phone and your child hasn't interrupted you, afterwards you say, thank you so much for not interrupting mommy on the phone. That let me have a really good phone call. You really helped mommy out. So you want to give them, let them know the positive impact they had. Oh, I really enjoyed watching you play with your little brother. I love watching you play together. So that's how you encourage the positive attention seeking or their need to connect. And when they do something to act up, you want to do the unexpected. You don't want to give into it. You don't want to give lectures. You want to act more and talk less. And the action and the talking that you do will be about natural consequences and I statements, which we will go more into later. That's another video. Now let's talk about the child's goal of needing power. So the positive way of seeking power is to be independent. You get yourself dressed, you have a say in what you do and who you play with and what you eat and how you decorate your room. Like people want to have a sense of autonomy and a sense of say. And when the child feels like he's able to influence what happens to him and he feels responsible for his life, then the parent will naturally feel admiration for the child. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of my child. Look at what they're doing. They're just enjoying themselves. But if the child doesn't get enough of a sense of independence in the home, or feels that their independence or sense of power is threatened, they're going to rebel. And when the child rebels, you will feel angry. So when in order to help a child feel a sense of power, you want to give the child responsibilities so that they have a sense of say in the home. Like even put their dishes in a low place so they can get their own dishes, have a place where they put their shoes, let them choose which outfit to wear. As they get older, let them choose maybe what books they want to read, or have them help with the shopping, get them involved so they feel like important and they have a sense of power and say. But if they never get to do that and they're rebelling, then you cannot fight or give in. You have to remove yourself from the conflict. Because a lot of times children, if their sense of power isn't met in a positive way, they get it filled in a negative way. And if you engage with your child and start arguing, you're actually encouraging it, because the child feels like, I am so powerful. Look at how mad daddy gets at me, subconsciously probably. And if you're a doormat type of parent, you don't like any confrontation, and give in to your child's unreasonable demands, the payoff is the child gets their way. Look how powerful I am. I get my own way with mommy. I made mommy give in. So you cannot fight or give in. We're going to go more into the power struggles in a little bit. I want to go over the other two first. Okay, the need for protection. And by the way, you can use this with adults and on yourself too. When you feel like you're treated unfairly, a healthy person will be able to say, I am going to stand up for myself. I will stand up for myself and those I love, and the parent will typically feel love for that child. However, if the child is trying to get protection in a negative way, if the child feels I've been hurt and I will get even by hurting back, the child will seek revenge. And you will know the child is seeking revenge because you will feel hurt. So what you have to do is you have to withdraw from the conflict and show love to that child. You cannot hurt them back. We're going to go more into this in a moment. Now, a child also has a need for withdrawal, or what we're going to call in a healthy way, centering. There are times when I need to be alone, is the child's belief. And when the parent sees that, the parent respects the child. Go into his room to read or to play alone, you feel some respect for that child. And you have to respect the child's wishes to be alone. Don't press. Sometimes the child may just not want to talk about something. You have to respect their need to be alone, and then use communication later when they're ready to talk. But a child who doesn't get a child who's using a negative way of trying to be alone, they will actually withdraw and the parent will feel helpless. The child thinks, I'm a failure at everything. Leave me alone. Expect nothing from me. And you, as the parent, have to be patient and find ways to encourage the child, because a child who withdraws, whether through drugs or failing at school, um, is a discouraged child. So a lot of parenting is about encouraging the child, redirecting the child, teaching the child how to express their emotions, and staying calm and not escalating any conflicts. We as the parent have to be the ones that set the emotional tone and that lead on how to handle with our feelings. And dealing with the feelings is hard because many times as a parent, you're going to feel triggered and annoyed because these little beings, they can really be annoying sometimes. Now, we're going to talk about how to avoid power struggles. The secret to avoiding a power struggle is to neither fight nor give in. So, there is a problem with the doormat type of parent. Are you a doormat parent? Okay, we know we have these abusive parents that yell and hit and tell their kids they're good for nothing. And those are the kids that we see that abuse other people, like that become, like the serial killers or the abusive husbands or the violent men or the people like, the nasty women. But we also get really entitled people. They think they can get their way with whatever they want. Some of them, we see those in the prison system as well. But the doormat parent has to refuse to give in to the child's unreasonable demands, to stop being a short order cook, a cleanup service, a wake up caller, and last minute chauffeur. That parent has to refuse to be intimidated by displays of anger and enforce the consequences of breaking the limits. We can let our children know that while we believe they should be treated respectfully, we expect to be treated respectfully as well. So they give some examples in this book of how to have a discussion. They talk a little bit about anger and helping children use their anger. I remember, like, when my kids were little, they'd get mad at me for something. They're 2 or 3 or 4. I'd say, it's okay to be mad at mommy. You don't want to let them know it's okay to be mad. And let's use your voice and tell me what you want. Tell me why you're mad. Don't, you can't just yell in the house. We're going to use our inside voices. So you kind of calm the child down and let them tell you why they're mad. Also, you have to let your child influence your decisions. Because if you allow your child to influence your decisions concerning her, she will not be as likely to resort to bedwetting, soiling, and stomach disorders. If you give in to tantrums, whining, or tears, the child will learn to use these tactics again. I remember many times, we would be out to eat or in a store, and the kids would, they were little, would just like scream or whatever, and I would say, well, if you're going to scream, then we're going to have to go outside. I'm going to have to take you outside. And you just calmly pick them up and take them outside. You don't want to really punish them because they're just frustrated. Their emotions are just as powerful as yours, and it's our job to teach them how to manage their emotions. Now, a really important, really sweet part in this book that I really like are the family meetings. In the family meetings, this is fun. Like the kids would take turns being the secretary. One person would be the secretary and take the notes, and then you would write down like leftovers from the last meeting, things to discuss at this meeting, and the things to discuss at this meeting, people would write them down on a piece of paper during the week on the refrigerator, so then you can bring those up. Then everybody talks about a solution. Everybody's input is welcome, and then at the end, you do a family activity. Oh, we actually started with compliments. The family meeting starts with compliments. Everybody goes around and gives everybody a compliment. So it's like a really nice team building exercise. And my kids still remember the family meetings. Even we didn't consistently do it, but the few times we did, they just felt so important. Taking notes and knowing that they could count on the family meeting and that they had a chance to air their grievances. Usually it was something about chores or something they wanted to do. And so when you have a family meeting, you want to discuss the problem with your kids and come up with a solution. Let everybody have a say. And then you follow up later. So this book has more examples, and I don't want to make this video too long. But what's important for parents to know is that it's hard for them to give up their authority, but problem-solving discussions don't work well unless every person has an equal voice in the decision made. Every person, including small children, need to feel heard and that they can make a difference in what the family likes to do. This is very important. Everyone is allowed to share what they think and feel about each issue. Decisions are made by consensus, although some decisions are reserved for the parents to make. And then, it's also picking your battles. Like, if your child doesn't want to play piano, why do you have to make them? Because, see, in the end, we can't force our kids to do anything. You can spank them into submission, then they're just going to hate you. You're ruining the relationship, okay? So, this book has really good examples of how to have a discussion. And then here's a family enrichment activities, teaching your kids a skill. This is another way that a child learns they get a sense of belonging and they get a sense of power when you teach them a skill. You're giving them attention and you're helping them learn something. So, um, also, it's important to let children try things, whether it's sweeping something, making their own sandwich, or whatever. They want to try things on their own. And I will tell you, the first 5 years of a child's life require a lot of patience and investment, like a training. And after that, it's easy street, I'm going to tell you. Children need lots of encouragement, and not you're a good girl or you're a good boy, but noticing their behavior. Oh, you're trying so hard. That's the way to do it. I see that you really like working on this. Okay, recognize their efforts. And then also do some work or play together. Do things together with your child. Take them with you somewhere, ask their opinions on things. Ask them what they think about something. So, okay, so now at the end of this video, I wanted to put up the chart, the main chart that has to do with their behavior. I'm going to hold it up and you can take like a screenshot. And this is chapter 4 from Active Parenting.